It is my pleasure to co-present today with the fabulous Melinda Gardner from the Area Agency on Aging. We have a special grant that we are partnering with the North Central Area Agency on Aging to bring you these presentations for the next few months. So I hope that you can join us for February. February, we will be discussing Don't Go Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places. You guessed it, the romance scam. In March, we're going to talk about government imposters, like people that are calling you pretending to be the government, like Social Security, but we know it's not them. In April, this is a fantastic presentation. We're going to talk about how do the scammers get your information. And last but not least, in May, we're going to let you decide what scam do you want to hear about in May. But without further ado, we are going to discuss today the grandparent scam. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, Jennifer, we've heard about the grandparent scam for years. Yes, we have. But guess what? This scam is what we call an original scam because it has been around for so long. And guess what? It is still evolving. That's right. So back in the day, a long time ago, even back in the 80s, people used to call pretending to be your grandchild because scammers know that our children and our grandchildren hold a special place in our hearts, right? So what scammers do is they'll call you in the middle of the night and they'll say something like, Grandmother, it's Jennifer, and I've been in a car wreck and I'm in a jail in Mexico and they found marijuana in my car and I don't know what to do. Can you please help me? That was the old scam. And here's the thing. They are playing on your emotions. First off, you think, oh my goodness, my grandchild might be hurt. They're in a hospital or they're in a jail because they found something illegal in their car. And the first thing that you want to do as a protector is protect your grandchild. You want to send them money. Well, guess what? This scam has evolved through the years. What we are seeing now, my friends, is you get a phone call and it goes like this. Gigi, it's Jennifer, and I'm so embarrassed to have to call you. I lost my job because of COVID-19. I was out of work for so many days and they went ahead and terminated my position. But you know what? There's light at the end of the tunnel. I now have a job interview, but I'm late on my rent. I don't have any new clothes to wear. I need a haircut. Mom and Dad have already given me so many loans. Is there any way that you can help me? Scammers are taking something that is real. They're taking a real pandemic, and they are using that for the grandparent scam now. Did you know almost every single scam starts with the truth? It starts with something on your local news station or in the newspaper. Scammers read the headlines. Scammers use whatever they can to get your money. So let's talk about the ways that this scam has evolved over the years and the storylines, because scammers have thousands of stories that they will tell you. The ones that I'm about to discuss with you are the ones that we've seen over the years. The first one is an alleged kidnapping. Basically, the scammer will contact you pretending to be someone that kidnapped your grandchild or your child, and they're holding them for ransom. Another one is your grandchild is stationed overseas. They're in the military and now they got a dishonorable discharge. They've used all their resources. They can't come back home and you are their only hope. Speaking of being overseas, COVID. Yes, once again, the word COVID. What we have seen a lot of is people being stranded overseas. The grandparent gets a phone call saying, they won't allow me to come home. You know, they're over somewhere in another country. They're trying to come back home to America. However, that country now has a travel ban on it. Scammers are watching the news. They're keeping up with the travel bans. They're keeping up with COVID. They're going to use that for the grandparent scam. So they're going to say, like, I'm stuck over in this country. I have no resources. They might ask for way more money, saying that the money over there is not worth what our money is worth over here. Speaking of COVID, yes, we're always talking about COVID these days. We're seeing a lot of this one, and it's heartbreaking. You get a phone call saying, Grandmother, I can't believe we lost Pawpaw. That's right, scammers are watching the obituaries too. And obituaries are online now, and they're also in the newspaper. And they may say something like, I can't believe we lost Grandpa, and I want to come to the funeral. I was able to get 3 days off, and I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money because I lost my job with COVID, or I have COVID, or some reason why. Can you please send me enough money for the plane ticket, for a hotel, because I know that you're going to have Janice and all the cousins and, my uncles and aunts staying with you, and I know you won't have room in your home. And I'm so embarrassed. I don't have any new clothes. My clothes have holes in them. I need a haircut. Can I just get a few extra dollars to come to the funeral? Yes, that is really sad, and we've seen a lot of them. Then we have the typical ones, DUI. Grandmother, I'm so embarrassed. I got a DUI, which means driving under the influence, or driving while intoxicated, DWI. I can't call mom and dad. They'll figure out that I'm no longer on my program, and they're going to find out, and I'm so embarrassed. Can you just send me a few $100s to get out of jail and to go back to rehab? Defaulting on loans. We've seen this with even the college kids. Somebody gets a call in the middle of the night, and they'll say, Granddad, Grandma, I'm so embarrassed. I've defaulted on all my student loans. I'm about to be kicked out of the dorm. I don't know what I'm going to do. Can I get some money, please? Needing money for emergency surgeries. Like, I've been in a car wreck. They might amputate my leg. Can you please help me get a surgery? Yes, I've heard that one before, my friends. And the last one that we've heard a lot of recently is people needing money for school. So there's millions and millions and millions of different ways to try to get your money. These are just a few, my friends. These were the top ones that we have seen in the last 6 years. They also have different ways of trying to get your money. For example, instead of being the grandchild calling you, which we know is a scammer, instead of being the grandchild, it might be a police officer. It might be an attorney. It might be a medical doctor. Again, these are all scammers. For example, with one of the scams that we heard of recently, it was a person pretending to be a police officer. And it basically went like this. Is this Miss Smith? Yes, it is. This is Officer so-and-so. We have your granddaughter in custody. We found illegal drugs in her vehicle. We are about to book her and put her in the jail. Now, I know that she's only 17 years old. She's going to be in a jail with grown-ups. Would you like to go ahead and pay that $5,000 right now before we lock her up with other bad criminals? Well, you're going to panic. So there's millions of different ways that scammers are going to try to get your money. We want you to stop, and we want you to think about the whole situation before going out and before going out and trying to get money to these people. Another big scam that we're seeing is phishing emails. For example, you get a phishing email and you think it's your grandchild, but it's not your grandchild. If you take your mouse or your cursor, put it over the email address and wait a few seconds, verify if that's your grandchild or not your grandchild. Because you got to remember, the grandparent scam has evolved. Back in the day, it was only the telephone. Now it's telephone, text messages, phishing emails, which is a fraudulent fake email. Carriers coming to your door. What? Why are people coming to your door? Well, because in this scam, sometimes they may say, we need the money now. Your grandchild is going to jail. We have to pay the ticket. We need the money immediately. So what they may do is send somebody to your door, knocking on your door, requesting the $500 so they can take it and go bail your grandchild out. Again, they're doing anything and everything they can to get your money. We see this scam a lot on social media and on email, like I was just talking about. Diane is going to show you exactly how they do it on social media and what you need to do to stay safe on social media.
Hey everyone, this is Diane, and I just wanted to give an example of a public profile to show you how scammers would pull information. So this is Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook profile. If you didn't know, he made Facebook, and this is just his public profile, and I'm going to show you what information that I can get from this. So when I scroll down a bit, you can see all of the information Mark Zuckerberg has that's public on the left side about himself. So you could see where he works, where he went to school, where he lives, where he's from, who he's married to. And if I was a scammer, I could use all this information when I called his grandfather. And if you look on the bottom right, you could see he was out surfing somewhere. So I could call and say, "Oh, hi, Grandpa, it's Mark. I was surfing in Mexico, but I got into an accident and I need some money." Also, be very careful about what public information you put, such as saying things like Gigi or Papa. If a scammer sees that your grandchild calls you Gigi or Papa, they will use that against you. Lastly, I wanted to talk about privacy settings. This is not just on Facebook, but pretty much all social media. You have different options of who can see what information you post on Facebook. So you have the option of public, which I don't recommend. You want to put friends. There's plenty of other options such as friends of friends or some people, but the best way is just to have your friends see your Facebook, and don't add anyone you don't know on Facebook.
One of the biggest things you really need to watch out for right now with the grandparent scam is called voice cloning. So if your grandchild has ever been on YouTube, on TikTok or Tic Tac, whatever you say, I know that's a candy, but it all sounds alike to me. Facebook, video, if they do speeches for a living, scammers can record voices. Scammers can use those voices to call you. And guess what? On social media, like Diane was just telling us, you need to be careful when you put your grandparent name on there. For example, we have one of our greatest volunteers, 97 years young, that goes by Gigi. She got a call one time saying, "Gigi, it's Veronica." Guess what? It sounded just like Veronica, her granddaughter. But guess what? Veronica was sitting there right there with her eating chicken and dumplings. They were having dinner together right then and there. So she knew for sure the person on the phone wasn't Veronica. But what happened was a scammer did his research. He went to social media. He found Veronica's name. He found that Veronica calls her grandparent Gigi, and he was able to use her voice. So don't trust social media. Don't trust your telephone. If your telephone has your grandchild's phone number on it, don't trust it. Scammers can do something called spoofing. They can change the phone number in the caller ID, okay? How do we stay safe from these scams? Because there's so many out there, and we get excited when we get a phone call, especially from our grandchildren. First off, this might sound silly and it might sound cool, but I want you to have a code word. And what is a code word? It is a word to keep you and your grandchild safe. For example, we change my grandmother's code word every 6 weeks. And a few weeks ago it was Johnny Depp, because she has a crush on Johnny Depp. But she's changed it since then. So for example, if I call my grandmother, she's going to ask for her code word and I'm going to give it to her. When a person calls you, don't give up too much information. For example, if you get a phone call, "Grandmother, it's me, Jenny." Don't say, "Well, Jenny, how are the girls doing today?" Don't give out too much information. Say, "Hi, Jenny, how are you?" Or throw out a question. "Jenny, how are the boys today?" Guess what? I don't have boys. I have girls. So confuse them. If I say, "Well, the boys are doing great," you know it's not the real me. So confuse them a little bit, okay? Your passwords on social media, on Facebook, change them every 3 weeks. Use passwords that are easy for you to remember, but hard for scammers to figure out. For example, don't use your date of birth. Don't use your wedding anniversary. I tell my husband all the time, it's okay to forget our anniversary. It's better than being scammed, okay? There are millions of different ways to stop these scams. According to AARP, the more you know about scams, you're less likely to fall for them by 80%. 80% is such a big number. So let's go over this one more time. If someone comes to your door trying to get your money for the grandparent scam, slam the door. If someone calls you, don't give away your information. Tell them if it is an emergency situation, let me call you right back. Verify the story. Make sure the story is correct. Call one of your children. Call someone you trust. When in doubt, call us at the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. We verify stories all the time. For example, the phishing email. Remember what Diane and I were just talking about with emails that you get that you think it's somebody, but it's not. We had a gentleman whose best friend went on a cruise, and his best friend sent him an email saying, I lost my wallet. I'm in the Caribbean. I have no money for food, drinks, and I have no money for anything. So if you send me $5,000 to this post office box, the captain will dock the ship, go get those gift cards and bring it back to me. This sweet gentleman went to his local grocery store, bought $1,000 of gift cards because he couldn't afford the $5,000. But thankfully, the manager came up and saw what was going on, because that's a lot of gift cards for someone. They called us. We verified that this did not occur. We verified that this gentleman didn't lose his wallet. What we did is as simple as this. Again, take your mouse, put it over the email address, look and see where the real email address was coming from. It wasn't his best friend. It's a scam. So I know that these scammers are playing on our heartstrings, and we want to be the hero. We want to help our children, our grandchildren, our community. But pause. Take a minute. If you do fall for a scam, please call us. We do not shame. We do not blame. We are there to help you. What we do is we keep your information confidential. If we cannot help you, we can get you to the proper authorities that can help you. In the beginning of this video, we talked about our program, the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. If you are on Medicare, I want you to start looking at your Medicare summary notices. If you see anything that looks fraudulent or like an error, please call us at the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. Our mission is to stop Medicare fraud before it happens, and we want you to protect. And this is a wonderful mission for all scams. We want you to protect your information. If you get a phone call, don't give out your Medicare number. Don't give out your Social Security number. Don't give out your bank account information. Do not give out any personal information. If you're walking in the mall and you see a big thing saying that you can win a trip by filling out this information, don't do it. Protect your information. Those folks might be trying to commit identity theft. Protect your information. A Medicare number is worth at least $30,000, but not to you, to a scammer. Your Social Security number is worth your taxes, because what scammers can do is they can take out taxes in your name. They can file taxes in your name. They can take out jobs in your name. They can take out loans in your name. So please protect your information, all your numbers. Number two, I want you to detect. I want you to look at those Medicare summary notices. If you see something that looks like fraud, error, or abuse, call us at the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. When you go to your doctor's office, I want you to start writing down your doctor's visit. We provide a healthcare journal. You can ask Melinda or us for this journal. We will send this out to you at no cost, because taxpayers paid for this information. When you go to the doctor, fill it out, compare it to your Medicare summary notice. If you see anything that looks out of the ordinary, that's when you report. Protect, detect, report. Report it to us at the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. Myself, Jennifer Salazar, Diane Nguyen, Lily Chu, or Robert Obregon will give you a call back. Remember, my friends, we are all in this together. We are a community of one, and we need to protect each other from scams. Please pass this information on. If you want to help us stop scams in the great state of Texas, please get with Melinda or myself. We need an army. We are fighting these scams together. You can always volunteer at the Senior Medicare Patrol. Take care and stay safe. Thank you.